Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from Reuters, published on April 11th, written by Diane Bartz. U.S. Senator Warner eyes social media bills for hate speech and data portability. Slight problem, you Democrat dipshit from Virginia. Warner, that you are a moron. You cannot go after social media for quote-unquote hate speech because the second the government goes to regulate something like that online, it violates the Constitution, you dumb shit. But see, I wouldn't expect a Democrat politician in the 21st century in 2019 to understand that concept, since Trump winning and their Trump derangement syndrome eating away at their brains like mad cow does. U.S. Senator Mark Warner, who co-sponsored legislation this week to ban deceptive practices by social media companies, said on Thursday he was eyeing additional bills aimed at limiting hate speech and allowing users to move their data across platforms. The data across platforms, I don't have a problem with on the face of it. When it comes down to it, I do, because the way that data could be shared between platforms, it's like a smorgasbord, because if you're moving your data between sites, all right, they're collecting that data. You're moving your posts, whatever. You're giving them what the last idiots collected on you, and then you're going to give them what you are now what they can collect off of you from that point forward. But, the hate speech thing, I'm totally against that, because, it was the Soviet Union that created the term hate speech, matter of historical fact, and they did it in the United Nations because they were being called out and criticized for their human rights abuses and everything else along those lines. Just saying. The Democratic lawmaker said he would offer more bills in the next month or two, ideally with Republican colleagues as a co-sponsor, or he's hoping he'll find some duped, dumbed down neocon who will go along with him. Be more accurate. The additional legislation could focus on hate speech, data portability, which gives social media users the ability to easily take their data to another site, and transparency about who or what is on the other side of an internet conversation, Warner said in an interview at Reuters. Which, this idea of who or what's on the other side, basically what he wants to do is get rid of people's anonymity. He wants to make it so that we have some form of real ID in this country with this. It might be, the precursor to the idea of real ID, but it would have to be that, because you'd have to prove you are a person, whole and actual. This is ripe with abuse. Leave it to a Democrat to want stuff like this. On Tuesday, Warner joined with Republican Senator Deb Fischer to introduce a bill to bar online platforms like Facebook Inc. or Alphabet Inc.'s Google from misleading people into giving personal data to companies or otherwise tricking them. Okay, that's a good thing. But he wants to make it so that you can take that data and just hand it off to another company. He wants to take it so that speech is censored online under the guise of hate speech. Give me a break. He wants to have it so that people have to be outed. It would also ban online platforms with more than 100 million monthly active users from designing addicting games or other websites for children under age 13. That I don't have a problem with. Warner is eager to increase transparency on social media platforms. Oh, really? Says the guy who's trying to use them to censor people. Says the guy who is trying to literally limit what is going on there, giving these companies power to remove people because of quote-unquote hate speech. Trying to codify it. Shouldn't we have the right to know whether we're being contacted by a human being versus a bot when you're on social media, he said? Well, considering anyone who doesn't go along your lines was a Russian bot after Trump got elected, screw you, because even if they found a way to prove that they were human, idiots on the left would go, no, you're not, you're a Russian bot, or you're just someone who's running a Russian account. Give me a break. Basically, that they want to out trolls. This is what the motivation of this is they want to be able to out trolls. Because you can't troll if you have to say, this is who I am, and not have people know who you are. They don't want anonymity on the internet. They don't want free speech on it. It's all about control. Issues of engagement and data collection are key for social media companies since they use information gathered about users to sell advertisements, a key source of profit. Warner noted the real-life implications of hate speech on social media, pointing to mass killings in New Zealand and Pittsburgh. Oh my God, that did not lead to either of those incidences. I love how they try to claim that free speech, which they're labeling as hate speech, led to those things. New Zealand, the guy went to France, saw what a shithole it was, and that is what radicalized him. He even said as much. Because he saw a beautiful country like France, a beautiful city like Paris, turned into a festering shithole with toilets for these friggin' foreigners that have no concept of, things like proper hygiene, like you don't piss and shit in the streets. So they have these toilets along the canals where they can stick their dick in and piss. Go look it up. I'm not making that shit up. So you have people walking their families down the streets while these people who fucking shit in holes in the desert, in the third world, depending on where they came from, it might not be a desert, so that's why I'm saying the third world. But you have these people who are shitting in holes, coming to a developed country, thinking they can just piss and shit in the streets in front of families. He's seeing that going, what the fuck? And these are people from particular regions of the world where a particular religion is dominant. That is what radicalized him. The Pittsburgh shooter, he spurged out and said racist shit on Twitter and Facebook, but the only ones who got nailed for it was Gab, and they were the ones who were more than willing to cooperate with law enforcement. So you people tried to villainize and demonize them and say that they were helping him in this in some way, shape, or form. You tried to make Gab look like shit. And here you are trying to basically lie about, it was hate speech online. No, that's not what caused these incidents to happen. In a massacre in New Zealand, a gunman opened fire in 2 mosques on March 15, killing 50 people as he broadcast the attack live on Facebook. Last year, 11 people were shot to death in a Pittsburgh synagogue. The man accused in the killings had made aggressive anti-Semitic comments in online forums. At least they didn't try to single out Gab in this article for that one, because maybe people realize and know that it wasn't the only place. And they're trying to say that hate speech led to this. These crazy fucks would have done what they did regardless of being able to post shit online. Wackadoo crazies were able to do it long before social media. And they did. I mean, give me a break. Some of the proposed legislation could be rolled into a federal privacy bill being drafted in Congress. That bill was prompted by California's data privacy law that imposes fines up to $7,500 on large companies for intentional failure to disclose data collection or delete user data on request, or for selling others' data without permission. It takes effect next year. $7,500 is lip service. I love how, this data privacy law. This was them going, look, we're in bed with you guys. We want you to continue doing what you're doing, so we're going to give you this pissant, piddly-ass little fine, and we're going to be like, look what we did to the masses, and they're going to buy into our bullshit. That's what that was. Let's call it what it is. I want technology to stay. I want the social media platforms to stay, Warner said. But I do think the days of the Wild West, where anything goes, people just aren't going to allow it. Reporting by Diane... Excuse me. They aren't going to allow it? I allow it because you know what? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Didn't your mother teach you that? Oh my God. He does not want technology to stay or social media platforms to stay and be actual places for people to exchange ideas and to communicate and to have opposing viewpoints and diversity of thought. He wants them to be controlled environments where the ideology of the left and the Democrats is pushed so that they can do their open borders and everything else and not have people, stand up to them. The same with the climate change bullshit situation that they have going on, where if you fucking dare to do that, oh no, we can't have that. Oh, that's misinformation. They want to silence those people too that question this idea of 12 years, we're all fucked. This is about censorship. This has nothing to do with preserving the internet. This is about controlling it. Why do you think this Democrat shitbag from Virginia is doing what he's doing? Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.